A girl was seen swimming alone in rough waters, as if the ocean itself was trying to consume her. Yet she always resurfaced, stubborn and determined. In the distance, she would catch sight of a woman, her mother, standing on the shore. But that figure quickly faded, just like Mia's fragmented memories of her. Now an adult, Mia lived by the ocean and swam daily. Each time she ventured far from shore, memories of her mother urging her to return would surface. The day began like any other. After her swim, Mia returned to her secluded high-tech home, nestled beneath a protective dome. She lived there with her husband, Aryan. Every morning, the house provided environmental updates and recommended a combination of pills tailored for optimal health. Among these, the most important was the rejuvenation drug, distributed to all dome residents. After following the prescribed regimen, Mia descended into the basement where Aryan worked. His workspace resembled a cave and served as a development lab for virtual pets, digital replicas that had replaced real animals after their extermination. Mia suggested cooking dinner using the new algae crop she'd cultivated. Aryan supported the idea enthusiastically. Most of Mia's time was devoted to the greenhouse, which housed over 1,000 species of algae and plants. That evening, they dined together and went to bed. However, Mia struggled to sleep, expressing doubts about whether they were truly prepared for what lay ahead. Aryan reassured her, telling her that their love would be enough. Later that night, Mia was awakened by a recurring childhood nightmare. She found solace in watering her favorite orchid, one of the last remnants from her mother. The following morning, a woman named Virginia arrived. She introduced herself as a government assessor sent to determine whether Mia and Aryan were fit to become parents. She explained that they ranked in the top 0.1% of couples and were thus eligible for parenthood. However, procreation was now heavily regulated, and no one could reproduce without approval. Virginia would stay with them for 7 days, observing and evaluating them through various tests. If successful, their data would be forwarded to the Fertilization Center for Ectogenic Gestation, as natural childbirth had been banned. If they failed, they would be notified immediately. They also had the option to withdraw, but doing so would mean forfeiting any future applications. Virginia reminded them that all proceedings were to remain confidential. When Mia inquired about the evaluation criteria, Virginia declined to share specifics. Despite the vague nature of her answers, Mia and Aryan remained confident in their suitability as parents. The assessments began with probing questions about their relationship, including their intimate life. Mia revealed that her mother had been sent to the old world for descent, and that she and her sister had few memories of her. She herself harbored no ill feelings toward the state. Both partners claimed they were committed to helping build a better future. However, Virginia remarked that their answers sounded rehearsed. Mia eventually admitted she would do anything to give her child the sense of belonging she herself lacked. Virginia then moved into their bedroom, complaining about the springs and the guest mattress. Aryan offered her their room, and she accepted. In Aryan's workspace, she was fascinated by his virtual animals, especially the nearly lifelike cat he was designing. In Mia's greenhouse, Virginia was impressed by the advanced microclimate system. Mia warned her to be careful with the orchid, explaining it was her last tie to her mother. Virginia requested unrestricted access to the house. Mia hesitated but complied. The couple was subjected to a full medical analysis, despite already having completed one in the past. Aryan explained the scars on his arm, which came from an explosion during the domestic animal purges. Protesters had targeted him, blaming virtual pets for the extermination of real ones, although the actual reason was disease prevention. The event had left him physically and emotionally scarred. That night, the couple's intimacy was disrupted by Virginia, who insisted on observing this aspect of their relationship. The next morning, Virginia behaved like a small child. Her behavior confused and irritated Mia, who eventually yelled at her. Aryan, feeling responsible, began spoon-feeding her. Virginia laughed and hurled porridge at both of them. While Mia was tending to Aryan's eye, Virginia wrecked the kitchen. They found her dancing wildly in Aryan's workspace. When Aryan shouted at her, Virginia abruptly declared the test phase was over, and she had returned to her adult state. Just then, a package arrived containing a children's play tent, which they were instructed to assemble by morning. Though difficult, the couple managed to assemble the tent overnight, leaving out one piece, which Mia threw into the sea. Virginia inspected the tent in the morning and approved their work. Later, in Aryan's lab, Virginia opened up about a beloved childhood dog, which she euthanized herself out of compassion. She petted Aryan's virtual monkey and asked to play. Mia walked in to find them laughing and wrestling. Aryan explained they were playing tigers. Mia pretended it didn't bother her. The next day, Virginia initiated a game of hide-and-seek on the beach. Aryan joined, trying not to be provoked. When they noticed Virginia missing, panic set in. Mia eventually found her standing in the surf. Virginia said she was pretending to be a starfish. Mia admitted she'd been terrified for her. Virginia then insisted Aryan carry her home on his back, calling him daddy and refusing Mia's help. Back home, Virginia stood in the rain until Mia coaxed her inside and gave her a warm bath. Suddenly, the doorbell rang. Virginia had invited guests for a surprise dinner party to test their social behavior. The couple rushed to prepare. Guests arrived, including Arian's colleague, his partner, and their teenage daughter. Virginia startled everyone by acting like a child again. Her behavior puzzled the guests. Arian's mother showed up, visibly annoyed. At dinner, Virginia disrupted conversation, snatched food from plates, and caused general disarray. A guest mentioned rumors of life in the Forbidden Lands and natural childbirth. They toasted to the future parents, but Arian's mother revealed he had previously applied for parenthood with someone else, shocking Mia. The conversation turned to the past and the harsh truths about the old world, brutal heat, starvation, and the collapse of society. One guest, aged 153, recalled both the beauty and devastation of that era. Virginia ended the dinner by urinating on a guest's lap, causing chaos. When someone insulted Mia's family, she punched the woman. After putting Virginia to bed, Mia confronted Arian. He admitted hiding his previous application out of fear of losing her. They reconciled, but the tension lingered. That night, Virginia crawled into bed with them, saying she had a nightmare. Mia allowed it. The next morning, Mia received a call. Her sister was ill. Technically, leaving would end the evaluation, but Virginia granted her special permission if she returned by 6 a.m. That night, Virginia seduced Arian, insisting it was part of the evaluation and swearing Mia would never know. Mia returned early and slid into bed between her husband and Virginia. In the morning, she dismissed the hospital call as a clerical error. Arian grew visibly strained. Sensing something was off, Mia asked him to watch over Virginia while she went swimming. Virginia tried to catch up with Mia but failed. She then went to the greenhouse and, in a fit of destructive emotion, began smashing the equipment and plants. Singing a mournful tune, she set the place on fire and lay down among the flames. Mia, seeing smoke, rushed back. Arian was in the lab, marveling at his completed monkey model. The smart home alerted him, but he didn't rush. Mia broke into the greenhouse and pulled Virginia out. Arian revived her. Later, he scolded Mia for risking herself. She retorted that Virginia could have died. Mia found her again and confessed that the greenhouse had been her life's work. Virginia had destroyed it all. On the final day, Virginia announced that while the couple had shown exceptional competence and responsibility, their application had been denied. The room fell silent. Arian, in a moment of frustration, confessed he had done whatever it took to get what he wanted. Realizing the implication of what had happened between them, Mia burst into nervous laughter and accused her husband of being intimate with a child. Virginia, shaken by the confrontation, left without a word. Mia wandered to the ruins of her greenhouse, sifting through the ashes of her lost sanctuary. There, to her shock, she found the part of the tent she had once thrown into the sea. The discovery made her realize that Virginia had known from the beginning that they had tried to deceive her. Enraged and broken, Mia destroyed the tent, ignoring Arian's desperate attempts to comfort her. In response, Arian took her into his secret cave and revealed what he had been working on, a child he had created. Mia held the baby in her arms. For a fleeting moment, she looked genuinely happy, until something shifted. She abruptly dropped the child and walked away. Arian stood frozen, unable to understand. He had done everything he could. He had been told that childlessness was the price to pay for clean water, safety, and survival. But Mia explained what was wrong. The child didn't smell like anything. It wasn't alive. And now, she had to know why they had truly been rejected. Determined, Mia traveled to the city and tracked down Virginia, whose real name she learned was Grace. All she wanted was one thing: the truth about why she and Arian had been denied the right to become parents. Grace tried to scare her off, warning that she was committing a crime. But Mia stood her ground. She reminded Grace that she had once saved her life, and now, Grace owed her an honest answer. Mia noticed the fear in Grace's eyes and pressed her harder. Finally, Grace admitted she had followed the official protocol. Mia and Arian had failed, just like all the others. Realizing she had said too much, Grace went silent. But Mia had already understood. No couple had ever passed the assessment. Grace confessed that in the last 6 years, not a single application had been approved. Yet shutting down the program would devastate public morale, so assessors were instructed to do everything possible to help couples come to terms with rejection. Most assessors couldn't take it. They burned out and quit. But Grace had stayed, clinging to the promise that one day she would be rewarded with a child of her own. After having lost her 8-year-old daughter, Grace broke down in tears as she revealed the truth. Her daughter had drowned. Mia couldn't imagine that kind of loss. She remembered a guest's words about a new world, beyond the border, where people still survived outside the system. She offered Grace a chance to escape, but Grace refused. She was too old now, and without the youth serum, she wouldn't last long. Sometime later, Grace, still known officially as Virginia, was assigned to assess another hopeful couple. She arrived at their home, where they eagerly insisted they were ready to be model parents. They showed her to the guest room where she was to stay. But after the woman of the house stepped away briefly and returned, she found the room empty. Moments later, she looked out from the balcony and saw Virginia's lifeless body on the ground below. Meanwhile, Arian was now raising a young girl in his cave. Mia, having made her choice, passed through the border checkpoint into the old world. She surrendered her rejuvenation medication and walked on. Arian ran along the shore with the now older child. When they returned to the house, a virtual projection of Mia waved at them from the porch. The real Mia stood before the final chamber that led to the old world. She suited up alongside others and stepped into the unknown. Outside, the strong wind blew through her hair. Though it was clear the old world wasn't perfect, Mia smiled through her tears. For the first time, she felt truly free. Despite the film's intricate blend of environmental crisis, social commentary, and technological dilemma, the core conflict revealed itself to be deeply personal, a life decision. What did you think? Did the ending surprise you, or were you expecting it all along? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next movie breakdown. Want more? Check out our recap of similar movie right here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.